applying with a GRE score as opposed to an LSAT score. I'll touch on this briefly. I've gotten the impression from a number of admission officers that it's really a small percentage, like less than 5% of applicants with GRE scores. And unless you have something truly unique about your background that warrants applying with a GRE, like maybe more of a STEM background, let's say, the LSAT score is typically the way to go. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I always encourage students to give the LSAT a try. I think, no matter what law schools are saying publicly, I think from what I hear, they still really prefer the LSAT. I think there are some cases, like I just talked to a student who already has a GRE score because she had thought about master's programs in the past. So in her case, she's still going to take the LSAT, but she has that as a backup if the LSAT doesn't go as well as she'd like. Sometimes if you're really struggling with the LSAT, I could see maybe switching to the GRE, but in most cases, I always recommend to stick with the LSAT.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out, though, about the LSAT is that if you have an official LSAT score on file, then law schools are obligated to report that to the ABA, and therefore they're obligated to take it seriously because it will affect their standing in the rankings.
Yes, the rankings. Yeah, so it's, and so maybe if you're just really struggling with it in practice and you realize that you're not going to get the score that you want. But like I said, I haven't really had anybody apply with the GRE.
Yeah, probably not worth going that route. And also, law schools want to know that you're serious about law school specifically and that you have what it takes to do well in law school. And the LSAT has a much stronger demonstrated association with first-year law school grades.
There's also just no data, really. I'll have students ask me, like, what is a good GRE score for Georgetown law? Well, I have no idea because so few people have applied with the GRE score that I think law schools are really doing it for a very small population where it might make sense for them. But I would stick with the LSAT.
Yeah. One last comment I want to make on that is that the percentiles may not be applicable the same way. So a 95th percentile GRE is not the same as a 95th percentile LSAT score. The LSAT score is taken far more seriously because it's more difficult. The pool of competition with the GRE is much broader, and as a result, it's not as fierce competition. So it's easier to do well on the GRE, and law schools know that. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.